Yo, what's up, everybody? Actually, I should do it like this. Are you suffering from anxiety? Are you suffering from panic attacks? Are you simply just crazy? Well, I've got a solution for you. Just for $19.99, you're going to be able to get 2 of my videos on panic attacks that will change your life forever. Operator standing by, and call right now because the time is running out. Everything is going to get sold out. All the panic attacks videos are going to sold out. Yes, I go a little crazy on a bright, beautiful, sunny day. So yes, guys, today we're going to talk on a serious subject of panic attacks and anxiety, and how can you see in a chart if somebody's suffering from panic attacks and anxiety. And the reason why I'm making this video is because I get a lot of emails from you guys asking for why do I feel this fear, unnecessary anxiety. Couple, please help me. My mind just is just very restless. What's going on? Why is it that I cannot function normally? And so today we're gonna tackle that. So as always though, if you're gonna need to know your planetary alignments for this. You're gonna need to know where certain planets and house placements are occurring in your horoscope to see if this actually matches your chart. And then you can probably realize that, oh my God, astrologically it does make sense that I have an anxiety or panic attacks without any reason. Okay, and for that you want to check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, including my books Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects at the Speed of Light. And obviously check out option 6 if you're new to this video. That will help you gain all the information about your horoscope in an audio file made by me. So panic attacks. So how is it that you can determine if you are having unnecessary panic attacks? Well, there's a panic attack if you see if I see a tiger in this park right now coming at me, I'm just gonna pee my pants and just faint and let him eat me. That's a panic attack. That's a legitimate panic attack. Somebody's trying to shoot you in front, have a gun in front of you. That's a panic. Your brain just suddenly goes into this survival mode. Okay, but panic attacks is a term mainly used for in a healthcare field where people feel the same kind of anxiety, feel the same kind of fear without ever having any of these situations approach them. They'll be sitting working on in their cubicle, and suddenly the body suddenly goes into this protection mode, and they just don't know what's going on, and they know that it's not real, but in that moment it feels very real. In that moment you can't breathe, your chest is coming close, and you're just not able to realize that it's not something that is real, but your brain suddenly goes into this trigger mode. So when we say panic attack and brain, what are we talking about? Mainly, panic attack is a result of a I would say screwed up nervous system. And what is nervous system? Nervous system is represented by Mercury. Mercury controls this part and the spinal cord and all the stuff that is happening with your nervous system. Okay, and Mercury is a planet that kind of controls your logical and analytical intelligence. And logical intelligence is really taken over when you see a tiger, and logically you have to run. Logically you have to get a gun, get something to protect yourself. That's Mercury. So Mercury becomes a part of a panic attack, unnecessary panic attack or real panic attack. Next thing is what in a panic attack? Fear. You suddenly feel this fear, like what is happening? Here I am in the middle of a party, everything is fine and dandy, I'm having a good time, I'm dancing with a girl I want to drink, I'm just drinking my ass off, and then suddenly you go into a panic attack. That is a fear that is seen from this 8th house. 8th house represents the things that are fearful to you, things that suddenly come up and make you crazy, not make you crazy, make you just suddenly feel like you're in a dark place with ghosts and demonic things around you. So 8th house is involved, Mercury is involved. Then what do we see? Well, panic attack is really seen from certain qualities of signs. What are those signs? These are the signs that are controlled by the air element, which are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And out of those 3, which one is the most serious of them all? Well, that would be Aquarius, because Aquarius is a sign co-ruled by Saturn and Rahu. Rahu is illusion. Rahu is unnecessary fear. So Aquarius is really more of a serious sign. And next and lastly, what we want to see is the Karaka of the 8th house, which is Saturn. Because significator of it, you can have any planet ruling your 8th house. But the Karaka, the significator of 8th house is Saturn. Like significator of 2nd, 5th, 9th and 11th house is Jupiter. Finance, money, children, luck. So Saturn is seen. And then next, the last but not least, what we see is the mind, the moon. Because even though your nervous system is screwed up, and nervous system suddenly goes into the panic mode, what brings fear? What is part of the fear? The mind. Fear is right there in the mind. So moon, we have to see. So now, what are some of the combinations of somebody being in a panic, somebody having an unnecessary panic attack in their life? Or sudden anxiety in their life? Well, that's when Mercury and Moon are conjunct or gets an aspect from the 8th Lord. Whether it's Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Venus, Mars, whatever is the 8th Lord, and if it's tightly conjunct, Mercury or Moon, especially Mercury, most of all, that can trigger panic attacks in the Mahadasha of Mercury, in the Charadasha of the sign where Mercury is sitting. And in that entire Maha and Charadasha, you will experience this unnecessary panic attacks. Next you want to see is your Mercury in the axis of Rahu and Ketu in an air sign. When Mercury is in the axis of Rahu or Ketu in an air sign, that shows unnecessary sudden burst of surprising energy in your nervous system, in your intelligence. Especially Rahu, conjunct your Mercury, shows Rahu is a sudden burst of something. It suddenly explodes things. In an air sign, it suddenly sends a lot of air to your brain and to your nervous system. And if, let's say, your 8th Lord is conjunct Mercury, aspects Mercury while it's sitting in the axis of Rahu and Ketu, that can show somebody who might be having panic attacks in Maha and Antradasha of Mercury. Next, you want to see Moon. Is Moon receives an aspect or conjunct Saturn in an 8th or 12th house. Why 8th or 12th house? 8th house is secrets. Or 8th house is secrets and sudden events, sudden scary things that happen, sudden transformations, sudden, unnecessary fear. 12th house is your subconscious mind. 12th house is secrets that are really you don't even know exist, but they exist. Like the spiritual realm. You know it's here right now when I'm speaking, but it will not activate itself unless the timing of planets is there. So Moon conjunct Saturn, axis of Rahu and Ketu in the 12th or 8th house can represent unnecessary fear and an anxiety. And obviously the big one is always related to the Ascendant, and Mercury placed in the Ascendant and receiving an 8th Lord aspect or aspect of the 8th Karaka Saturn. So let's say even if your Mercury is not receiving any conjunction or aspect from the 8th Lord, yet Mercury is in an air sign, especially Aquarius, and Mercury is receiving a conjunction or aspect from Saturn from anywhere. This will show that's in Mahadasha of Mercury or Charadasha of a sign where Mercury is placed can trigger panic attacks. Because the 8th Lord Karaka is still looking at Mercury. And obviously, you want to see some of the water signs, especially Scorpio. Sign of Scorpio can definitely show where Mercury has a very chaotic water energy in it, because Mercury is not a watery planet. Mercury is an air and earth planet. And when Mercury goes into a karmic sign of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars and Ketu, co-ruler of Mars and Ketu, and Mercury is sitting with the 8th Lord or axis of Rahu and Ketu, that's where panic attack occurs. And especially some people may suffer panic attacks for a lifelong. That can happen when it's in the Ascendant. But temporarily, it always happens in the Maha Antra Charadasha of Mercury or Moon. Because Moon is, again, creating unnecessary fear. However, I still think especially coming across horoscopes of people who are suffering from this, Mercury is a great, it has a great involvement in this say. Has a great involvement. Now, you also want to look deeper, pinpointing if somebody has it or not. You want to see if Mercury is in the nakshatra of Rahu and Ketu. If Mercury is in the nakshatra of Rahu and Ketu, let's say Aradra nakshatra or Mula nakshatra, these kind of nakshatra are something that can activate a panic energy in Mercury, especially if it's getting affected by other planets and signs. Nakshatra should be the end result of things you want to see. First, you want to see what sign Mercury is in. Air sign, water sign, earth sign, especially sign of Aquarius and Scorpio. Next, you want to see, is Mercury receiving the aspect of the 8th Lord? Is Mercury is conjunct, especially conjunction are seen, tight conjunctions of Mercury with the 8th Lord or Saturn. Next, you want to see Moon's influence. Is Moon is also getting triggered in this scenario? Is Moon in a watery sign or air sign? And it's in the axis of 8th Lord. Next, you want to see is Mercury, especially sitting in the nakshatra of Ketu or Rahu. Now, the one last thing you want to see, especially for somebody who is seriously getting affected from panic attacks, is looking at the Trimshamsha chart. Trimshamsha chart represents misfortunes, represents health and diseases in life. Pretty much like really related to health and misfortunes. You want to see if Mercury, your nervous system, is being affected in the Trimshamsha chart. If it is, then you can completely confirm that this person is having issues related to panic attacks in Mahadasha and Antradasha of Mercury. And these are the scenarios you want to look for to see if you have a necessary, panic attack. Now, your Mercury might be exalted, has no, conjunction or aspects, but look, if a tiger comes in front of you, brain will automatically do this natural progression of bringing that fear and panic within you. So that's something, everybody could have. But unnecessary one are these combinations, okay? So guys, if you are new to my channel, subscribe below. And again, if you want to know if you have panic attacks or having panic attacks, and you want to see if these alignments are true to yours chart, for that, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report and my books on astrology. Otherwise, I'll see you next time with the 8th Lord in the 10th house. Bye-bye.